Conversations with the one and only J-Man. Your morning will never be the same. Here we go.
Good morning. I had trouble with my mic there, so forgive me. We all set though, but good morning. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and that your week has started off in a great position. Let me say good morning, Dr. Tony. Good to have you on, dear. Good to have you on the show. Good morning to Winship Cancer Center. Those my warriors out in that area there. Good morning to you all. I know that you are doing it. This is my brother's last week with radiation and chemo out there at Winship Cancer Center. So shout out to my brother. He's in good spirits. He handled it very well. So this is his last week. Chemo today. and then radiation for the rest of the week. So he's doing really, really, really good. He's doing really, really good. And we're excited about it. We know that God is doing something great through his life. I played that song, Loving You. Actually, it was a song that was in my head when I woke up this morning. I do know where it came from, because it came from the conversation that I was thinking about. Sometimes I always tell y'all, this is what I was thinking about first thing this morning. And the thought came in my mind was this. Self-love is self-preservation. Self-love is self-preservation. It's surviving life. Surviving life is easier, not easy. It's easier when you love yourself. It's easier when you love yourself. This is not to suggest in any way, form, or fashion that nothing is going to come. You're never going to have any storms. You're not going to be affected by the storms. You're not going to be off track sometimes and all of this other stuff. But what I will say is that self-love is self-preservation. It's self-preservation. It keeps you from sinking or being overcome by whatever storm comes your way. It helps you to look in the mirror differently. Imagine looking in the mirror and people are talking about you. You're ugly. You're this. You're that. You're this. You're that. But you have self-love. One thing people cannot take away from you, you only give it away, is the love that you have for yourself. No one can take that from you. It is something that we give away. Now, there are times in, growing up, some of us have been conditioned not to love ourselves, or conditioned to think if a person think this about me, feel this way about me, then it must be true, and I shouldn't look this way, or I shouldn't act this way, or I shouldn't do this. But in reality, you're only hurting yourself. We're only hurting ourselves. Because those aren't the people that lay down with us at night. Those aren't the people that wake up beside us. You're responsible for your self-love. But I'm honest enough to admit that our self-love has been affected by the things we've gone through in life. Our self-love, how we feel about ourselves, how we condition. I've always been a small guy, a small framed guy, and I used to always be so concerned about how people view me because I'm a small guy, and I used to wear bulky clothes. I would wear a pair of shorts under a larger pair of pants, so that I can appear bigger. Because I was so busy trying to be what everybody else, or what I thought the standard of what a man's supposed to look like. And the problem was, the only people that was uncomfortable was me. I was making myself uncomfortable to make other people see me a certain way. When in reality, if I learned to love me first, love everything about me, then maybe the other people would be uncomfortable being around me, not in a negative way, but that I have a glow. I had a light on the inside that exposed other people not loving themselves, their own selves, the way that I did. My desire is that we begin to love ourselves first. I'll say that again. My desire is that we begin to love ourselves first. And it's based on a biblical principle. It's literally based on a biblical principle. Love others as you love yourself. In other words, the as in that is equal to the same way you love yourself. And in my opinion, I often say this, that's the one scripture all of us are doing right. That's the one scripture everybody is doing right. However you're loving yourself is how you're loving other people. However you're treating yourself is how you're treating other people. That's why sometimes it's good to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I have to learn to love me better so that I can love others better. It's hard for us to forgive others because it's hard for us to forgive ourselves. It's hard for us to move on from situations from other people because we don't move on from other situations in our own lives. Self-love is self-preservation. When was the last time you actually looked in the mirror? It's one thing. It's easy to say, Jason, I love you. It's easy to say it. It's easy to say it with words. It is. It's not funny. It doesn't feel funny when I do it. But when was the last time you looked in the mirror? I often gave this in mentoring certain people. I often gave them as a task. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes. Not how good your lips look, how beautiful your eyes are, not how lovely your skin is. No. Look stare into your own eyes as if you were your own lover. And say, I love you. At first, it's a funny feeling. Because we're not used to people looking at us like that. We're not used to people looking at us like that. And not even our own selves looking at us straight in the mirror. Because at that moment, what is going to happen is you're going to be confronted with a lot of things. Subconsciously, you're going to be you will be confronted with a lot of things. You're going to be confronted with your past. You're going to be confronted with things you've said in the past. You're going to be confronted with how people have treated you. Subconsciously, you literally deal with those things. And the more and more you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, and you're looking yourself in the mirror, you're going to find that the more you let go of what other people think about you or feel about you or say about you. That is one of the most freeing mindset to be in. To allow other people to feel about you the way that they want to feel. And not try to convince them otherwise. When you're able to just let it be. When I left ministry, I want to say I left ministry. When I walked away from church for a while, I was concerned about how people felt about me. And it took me years to get over that. Now, I am simply Jason. No matter, that's why I have a show. This is Coffee and Conversation. I have another show called Life After the Collar, which was birthed from taking off the titles I used to carry in ministry and I am just Jason. I still have the gift on the inside of me that God gave me, but I'm just Jason, and I'm being Jason, and I'm not trying to be perfect for anyone. You can't expect other people to be perfect for you. I know we use that in situations. Oh, you are perfect for me. I get that part. But just because you feel that they are perfect for you doesn't mean that they are a perfect person. You're not a perfect person. You're going to do things wrong. You're going to say things wrong. You're going to move in the wrong manner. All of this stuff. You're not perfect. So us requiring other people to be perfect is unjust. We have, just because you may have issues and you may have problems, does not mean that you aren't lovable. But look, watch this. If you aren't lovable to yourself, if you aren't lovable to yourself, why should you be lovable? Why should you be lovable to others? Or in other words, why should anybody else treat you that way? Why should anybody else treat you as a lovable person? It all starts right there with the person in the mirror. There's a song, old song, I think it's a quartet song from years gone by, that said, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Find out. We sit there and we want people to love us, but our actions sometimes shows that we don't know how to love ourselves. I'm guilty of that. For years, I was all over the place. Okay, you get to love me this way. 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 You had all of these people loving on a schizophrenic, and I'm using it in a non-psychological type of way, but as an adjective. We have split personalities. When one person walk in a room, you're this way. When another person walk in the room, you're that way. When another person walk in the room, you're that way. You're around this person, you're that way. That takes too much energy. The goal in life, in my opinion, is to love yourself completely, no matter where you are in life. I believe everything launches off of how we love ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we view ourselves. Everything in life adjusts itself according to how we love ourselves. If 1 minute you're loving yourself, another minute you're not, your relationships are going to be that way. Your love relationship is going to be that way. Your jobs are going to be that way. Your jobs, your friendships, the organizations you are attached to. You're gonna notice that you find yourself in a relationship that one minute it looks like that person don't love you. Next minute it looks like if they do a certain thing, oh, he must love me, she must love me. You with an organization. When you're this way, oh, they like me, they dig me, they're giving me my props. But when you're that way, they're not saying anything or they're not doing anything. Or so you feel. And so you literally sit around and we pretend or we act a certain way to provoke an emotional need. Instead of, watch this, being ourselves, knowing that I am doing my best and being my best. I'm doing my best and being my best. And that's all that matters. And what people see, that's what they see. Watch this. Because when I do good, I want them to see me and recognize me. But when I do bad, I still want them to see me and recognize me. Now, the recognition may be different. Watch this. If I do something good and I want recognition, I want people to come up and tell me, hey man, that was a good job. You did a good job. And they see the love. They see the love that I'm that's coming through my skin. It's so much love. But then when I mess up, watch this. When I mess up, they see how much I love myself enough to come and tell me, hey, you missed the mark on that one. You may not want to do it that way. We still love you. But I want you to know that, that one wasn't right. You didn't do that right. You missed the mark on that one. I love you though. See, a lot of times we don't do things like that to people because we already know how they're going to react to their own selves. So now what we do, we go over and we baby them. Oh, it's okay. You're going to be all right. Yeah. But tell me the truth. Self-love is self-preservation. It's how you survive. It's how you survive, not just in a natural way, but in an emotional way, in a spiritual way. Self-love. It's how you get over heartache. It's how you get over pain. It's how you get over bad situations. It's how you get over when somebody misuse you or mishandle your love, mishandle your trust. Matter of fact, it should be a standard for others to see. When you have self-love, complete self-love, here's what happens. It doesn't affect you when somebody mishandle you. When you have complete self-love, when someone does mishandle you, it makes them feel bad. It makes them like, that person didn't deserve that. I feel bad about you. Now you may not even think anything of it. You may acknowledge the fact that person did what they did and it is what it is, or that situation that was presented to you is what it is and it did what it did. That opportunity that fell through, that job that didn't handle you the right way. I was listening to something the other day where the lady saw the pastor of this well-known church in a restaurant. And she walked over to him and just started talking to him as if they was on first name basis, just started talking to him. And she told him, you know what? You're a real good man. You're a real good man. And he thought she was one of his members at the church, one of the members at the church. And so he asked her, she said, oh, I don't go to church because church hurt me. So I pulled away because the church hurt me. But because her self-love, and I understand it. Look, I get it. I literally walked away from ministry because of ministry hurt. So I get it. I know where she come from, but I had to finally got to a point where I had to embrace Jason. I had to learn how to love on Jason. And now I'm in a position that I'm loving on Jason. I get people, I can go to certain places and people that I don't even think are listening to my show. Because sometimes some of my shows can be off the chain. Not my coffee and conversation, but my Life After the Collar podcast can be off the chain sometimes. And I was at this one conference, and I had well-known people walking up to me telling me how much they enjoy my show and how much they appreciate me showing the freedom it is when you are just being you. That's a good point right there. And I'm going to close on that point right there. I think I'll close on that point right there. There is a freedom when you don't care what other folks say about you. When you don't care what the critics say about all of us are going to have critics. All of us are going to have people in our lives that want you to do it this way, that way, their way. And if you don't do it this way, that way, or their way, then they have something to say because you're not catering to them. Let me tell you about life. Life is not about catering to other people. Life is about being the puzzle piece that you're designed to be. And you're not designed to be fit in everybody's puzzle, in everybody's space. I used this analogy the other day in a conversation. I could take a picture of something and I can send it off to the puzzle people. And I send it off to the puzzle people. Watch this. And they take it and they stamp it and make this, but it's the same mold. So you can send the same picture, another picture to that same company and ask for the same press, and they give you the same press, and we have the exact same pieces. But watch this. If you reach over and grab my piece, one of my pieces, and put it on your puzzle, your puzzle is not complete. It may look like it fit, but the picture is wrong. You have to first fit in. You have to know that you fit in. And then then the second thing is you have to be a part of that picture. You can fit well with a lot of people, but do you fit? Is that your picture? I'm talking real good this morning. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing in life, you have to remember to give yourself everything you got. You have to give yourself anything that you require. If you're requiring other people to give you this from them, look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you giving yourself the same energy? Are you requiring the same from yourself? Because if you can't be authentic, and I had to learn this for myself, I promise you, it's only been maybe 3 or 4 years now. Maybe I think I'm going on 4 years now in this mindset. When I got to the place where I said, wait a minute, Jason, you've been running around trying to make everybody happy. You've been doing it the way you look, the way they want you to look, that you act the way they want you to act, you this, you that. And there are things that's on the inside of you, Jason, that you're like, man, I wish I can do that. Man, I wish I can have that. Man, I wish I could do it this way. Man, I wish start doing that. The best that you got for yourself, and I know I'm using bad English, but I really am doing it for a reason. I'm dressing up the closing song. The reason why you're not giving yourself the best that you got is because we're too busy giving everybody the best of you in the manner in which they want it. When I started being me, authentically me, I smoke my cigars. I listen to the type of music I want to listen to. I'm back into DJing and MCing. I'm doing my podcast. If I feel the need that I want to throw a cuss word in the middle of a sentence, I do it. Because that's me. I went to the conference. Man, I love, I love your Life After the Collar show, man. It's really, really good, man. It's freeing me. I wish I could. And that's always the phrase. I wish I could. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can. Whatever you want to do, you can. Be you. We've been teaching that and trying to have others participate in that conversation, but be you. In order for others to give you the best that they've got, you've got to give it to yourself first. Remember this. Self-love is self-preservation. Thank you all so much for listening. Those that aren't, I know of quite a few people that told me that they listen and they don't comment in the show. So I want to acknowledge all of the ones that do not comment in the show. I do appreciate you all that do listen, and you send me text messages or inboxes and letting me know when something hit that button in them and that's what they needed to hear. I do appreciate you. If you all want to contact, I don't think when the last time I put out the email, you can check me out on lifeafterthecollar.com, lifeafterthecollar.com. My email address is on there, but my email address is podcast, LATC, podcast, LATC at gmail.com, podcast, LATC at gmail.com. And so if you have any topics that you want me to discuss, if you have something that you want to tell me, feel free to use that email address, podcast, LATC at gmail.com. Sorry about that. You all have a great night, great day, great week. If you are in the Atlanta area, they say the air is going to be not so good. The air condition, the air outside, the condition of the air is going to be in a cold orange today, which means they were saying, like, if you have heart issues and skin issues and things like that, if you're going through certain things, you may not want to spend a lot of time outside today. Today is going to be a bad day for that. I'm going to monitor it myself because I do have certain conditions that I shouldn't be doing certain things. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you all are aware of that. See you all next time. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all Thursday, same time. I'll holla.
There's something I can give you in exchange for everything you give to me. Read my mind, you make me feel just fine. When I think my peace of mind is out of reach, the scales are sometimes unbalanced, and you bear the weight of all that has to be. I hope you see that you can lean on me.